Hey everyone, I'm going to give you some of the latest and the wildest updates about the Epstein case. We're also going to cover the Panama Canal situation because that's also getting out of hand. But we're going to start things off with RFK Jr., who shocked a lot of people when he revealed his latest directive for the CDC.
Fluoride should not be in our water. Fluoride had a strong justification in the 1940s when it was added and people didn't understand the science and they thought its benefit to our teeth was systemic. By drinking it, it would enter your body and somehow protect your teeth. Now we know that there is no systemic advantage, zero systemic advantage, and that the only advantage comes from topical application. So it's the water that passes through your mouth. You can achieve that benefit from brushing your teeth. And in the era of fluoridated toothpastes and mouthwashes, it makes no sense to have fluoride in our water. The evidence against fluoride is overwhelming. In animals, in animal models, and in human models, we know that it causes IQ loss, profound IQ loss, and it's dose-related. So the more fluoride you get, the higher levels in your drinking water, your urine, the more likely it is you will lose IQ and also other neurological injuries like ADHD. It affects, science indicates that it affects kidney health, it affects liver health, and it causes hypothyroidism.
Now look, he's not wrong when he says that putting fluoride in the water was probably the right thing to do nearly 100 years ago. However, if there really is research showing that it causes more problems for people, I don't think we should be pushing everyone to drink it. And let me just show you what an ex-CDC director has said about this issue.
Attention deficit disorder, developmental issues in children can be negatively impacted. But let's look at the data, put it out in public, let's debate it. If we started putting fluoride in toothpaste, there are lots of places in our country where we probably get adequate fluoride without having fluoride in water.
And I think he raises a fair question. If people really want fluoride, can't they just get it from the toothpaste? But according to this dentist, it might not be enough.
Dental decay, by and large, is entirely preventable. Follow the science, we can be very comfortable with 0.7 parts per million fluoride as a very safe, effective means to help fight tooth decay.
While I'm usually more than happy to listen to an expert, I'm not too keen on listening to someone who's related to the medical industry in any way because it's inherently in their interest to keep us sick. I mean, surely you haven't forgotten how that representative from the American Heart Association wanted people to keep buying sugary drinks even though they know damn well how dangerous they are.
I often say that I can never be surprised in this building, but for the American Heart Association to be against this bill.
SB 379 seeks to remove soda, candy, potato and corn chips, and cookies from the list of items eligible for purchase with SNAP.
My name is Alec Puente, and I'm the Director of Government Relations for the American Heart Association. I'm here to testify today in opposition to Senate Bill 379.
I would encourage you to look at what it restricts.
The Heart Association is concerned about potential impacts of this bill on participation and population health.
Now, moving on from our corrupt medical industry, let me show you what Representative Luna has said about the Epstein files.
The one thing I've been very frustrated with, Matt, is that I have tried very hard to obtain the Jeffrey Epstein files. I have been contacting the Department of Justice. I've even chased down the FBI, and I keep getting the same thing. We are reviewing documents.
Now, keep in mind, she was put in place to investigate many cases, including that of Jeffrey Epstein.
It is with profound honor that I have been entrusted by Speaker Mike Johnson and Chairman James Comer to lead the House Oversight Task Force on Declassification of Federal Secrets. Together with the help of the White House, our intelligence allies, the Department of Defense, the Department of Justice, we will be conducting investigations into the following: the assassinations of JFK, RFK, and Dr. Martin Luther King, unidentified aerial phenomena, also known as UAPs, unidentified submerged objects, also known as USOs, the Epstein client list, the origins of COVID-19, and the 9/11 files.
And for weeks, she's claimed that she isn't able to do anything.
And have you heard anything on when Pam Bondi will release the Epstein files?
I actually bugged the DOJ today about that and the FBI, so I don't speak on behalf of the DOJ or the FBI, but I am hearing that they are reviewing documents. We are pushing for this release. No one is above the law, period. The fact that no one's sitting in jail or has been charged for what Jeffrey Epstein did is pretty abhorrent, so I look forward to the AG bringing charges, investigating, and I would say that if the AG does this, she'll be one of the best AGs in U.S. history. If she doesn't do this, then it is what it is.
Thank you.
My question is, what the hell is happening with those files? I mean, where are those damn influencers who were parading around with those fake files? And to all the people who kept telling us, just give Pam Bondi some time, can you tell me why she's gone silent on this issue as if it doesn't even matter anymore? Now, since we're talking about Epstein, I want to update you on Virginia Giuffre.
Well, now it's come out from Virginia Giuffre herself that she was hit by a school bus. I'm assuming she was in a car. The school bus hit her, and she only has 4 days to live.
Well, it turns out she was just discharged from the hospital, and according to the police, the accident she had was a minor collision.
Jeffrey Epstein and Prince Andrew accuser Virginia Giuffre has been released from the hospital following a car crash.
So I think she gave that statement to distract people. I mean, I don't see why you would destroy your credibility by making up such a thing. Now, the question I have for you is, what was she distracting us from? Be sure to leave your answers in the comments. In the meantime, let me show you one of the most desperate things I've seen in a while. Since the Democrats hold pretty much no power in the House, they decided to hold a phony oversight meeting to discuss President Trump and his actions.
Extraordinary step of convening this unprecedented hearing. We brought together both chambers of Congress, the Senate and the House, to conduct real oversight and to serve as a check and balance, to hold those who misuse power to account and to carry out our constitutional duty. Convening this hearing was not our first choice. We have tried to get our Republican colleagues to hold hearings, to do meaningful oversight, to assert Congress's authority as an independent branch of government. But to our great disappointment, our Republican colleagues have abdicated that important responsibility. They have stood by as the President has run roughshod over the legislative branch and turned Congress into little more than a rubber stamp. So today we'll hold the first of what we hope will be more bicameral oversight hearings. We will do the investigative work that our colleagues across the aisle refuse to do. We will expose the illegality, abuse, and corruption of this administration and within the Department of Justice.
Now, what's funny to me is that the three men sitting in the center of it all have done or said some really bad stuff in the past. For instance, here's the background check on Adam Schiff.
Adam Schiff is the worst criminal in Congress in the last 250 years. That brought Sharmella in, manufactured that false accusation, and then peddled it out to the world.
And how can we forget Jamie Raskin, who was pretty much advocating for civil unrest?
What can be put into the Constitution can slip away from you very quickly. And the greatest example going on right now before our very eyes is Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which they're just disappearing with a magic wand, as if it doesn't exist, even though it could not be clearer what it's stating. And so, they want to kick it to Congress, so it's going to be up to us on January 6, 2025 to tell the rampaging Trump mobs that he's disqualified. And then we need bodyguards for everybody in Civil War conditions.
And then there's Dick Durbin, whose actions might have saved people like Bill Gates and Reid Hoffman.
I want to talk to you about the Epstein case. I have worked on this for years, trying to get those records of who flew on Epstein's plane and who helped him build this international human trafficking, sex trafficking ring. Now, earlier I urged then Chairman Durbin to subpoena those records, and I ended up being blocked by Senator Durbin and Christopher Wray. They stonewalled on this.
And these three men want us to untie and stop Donald Trump from misusing his power. Is that a joke? Now, next up, let's talk about the Panama Canal situation. Recently, our Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, visited the waterway and made this statement.
China did not build this canal. China does not operate this canal. And China will not weaponize this canal. Together, we will take back the Panama Canal from China's influence. And we will do this along with other capable, like-minded allies.
Now, he had to warn China because it's becoming abundantly clear that China is not going to let BlackRock get its hands on the key ports in the canal. And I'm sure Larry Fink isn't too happy about that. So it kind of makes sense that he's asked the Secretary of Defense to speak up for him, since BlackRock and the defense industry have extremely strong ties. Now, moving on, let me show you just what kind of money was being wasted by the Biden administration
on high-end pieces. Since fiscal year 2021, executive agencies have spent more than $4.6 billion on furniture alone. That amount could buy 9.2 million American families a modest $500 kitchen table. During the peak years of the COVID emergency, from 2020 to 2022, agencies spent $3.3 billion on furniture, even as work migrated to Zoom. The SEC managed to spend $700,000 furnishing a single conference room in New York. And social distancing guidelines failed to keep even the Centers for Disease Control from buying solar-powered picnic tables with charging ports that by their own rules should have sat unoccupied. And an added burden for taxpayers is that many spaces are in long-term disrepair, as we mentioned before. Federal buildings need $370 billion in fixes.
So they were spending billions of dollars on offices where no one was even working.
So we're in the second headquarters at Freddie Mac. We were just in the other building. There was nobody there for miles and miles and miles. Look at these desks. They're clean.
And despite all of this, the mainstream media acts as if it's shocking that Donald Trump wants to fire all these federal workers if they don't come to the office. I just wonder how many shelters we could have built for our veterans or the people of North Carolina who spent one of the coldest winters in recent memory in shabby tents.
We had a confirmed deal there night before last where we actually lost three people. Three people was found.
Now, we all know that the liberals absolutely hate the tariffs imposed by Donald Trump, but I just saw a video that made me laugh because clearly these libs have gone insane in their hatred for our president.
Liberals are now complaining that gas prices are too low. Like, there are a lot of things that I thought liberals would complain about, but this is certainly the most ridiculous. Brian Allen says, breaking, oil just crashed under $60 for the first time in 4 years. Trump's tariff tantrum is now dragging down global demand, cutting prices, and sending shockwaves through energy markets. Bro, the price of gas is going down, and you're complaining. In fact, you think it's breaking news. Yeah, it is breaking news. It's awesome. Liberals, are you seriously going to be the party that is against low gas prices? Is that really what you're going to embrace? Do you think that will resonate with the American people? Do you think wanting higher price gas and complaining when gas prices go down is going to get you reelected? Is it somehow going to get you back into office? The Liberal Party is now the party of higher gas prices. Liberals, what the fuck has happened to you?
I mean, of course, I can see why they hate these low prices, since they made damn sure the prices stayed high for nearly 4 years so companies like Exxon could make record-breaking profits. But sarcasm aside, it's this mindset that's destroying the Democratic Party, since they don't realize that most Americans just want cheap gas. They don't give a shit about the global energy market. Now, I'd like to end this video by showing you what Caroline Leavitt has said in a recent press briefing.
And then the president on Thursday told us that there was an incredible discovery that the Doge team had made. He called it horrible and incredible. Can you reveal that yet? Give us details on what it was about?
There has been a discovery. I hate to leave you hanging on a cliff, but I don't want to get ahead of the president on that. But I can confirm there has been a discovery. It's just not quite yet ready for release.
Look, I don't know what the big find is, but I just want to make one thing clear. No one really cares about what Doge is finding anymore. If you don't start sending these crooks to jail, the American people will stop supporting this anti-corruption drive. So let's be real. Most habits are hard to break because they're not just physical, they're mental. It's the routine, the hand-to-mouth motion, the fidgeting. You're not just fighting a craving, you're fighting muscle memory. That's exactly where Fume comes in. Not a vape, not an e-cig, just pure flavored air. And honestly, it might be the smartest habit swap I've ever made. Fume is a natural flavored air device. There's no vapor, no nicotine, and no batteries. It's 100% nicotine-free, chemical-free, and totally non-toxic, using natural plant-based cores to deliver clean flavor through a passive diffusion system, kind of like herbal tea for your mouth. My favorite flavor? Crisp mint, hands down. But if you're into bolder stuff, try black licorice or cinnamon hearts. They've got something for everyone. The weighted wooden design feels premium in your hand, and the fidget-friendly features are next level. Magnetic snaps, airflow dial that clicks, built to keep your hands and brain busy while your cravings chill out. Plus, Fume's been backed by multiple third-party studies for safety and even endorsed by doctors here in the US. Whether you're ditching a bad habit or just want something healthier to reach for, Fume fills the void without feeding a new addiction. There's no smoke, no restrictions, and no need to charge anything. It's portable, guilt-free, and a fraction of the cost of vaping. So yeah, this isn't just a new product, it's a new habit. Go to tryfume.com/hustle or scan the QR code on the screen. Use code HUSTLE to get a free topper with your journey pack. Try it, twist it, taste it, thank me later. We're going to end today's video right there, but I want to give a big thank you again to today's video sponsor, Fume. Let me know what you guys think about all of these stories we discussed. What are your thoughts on fluoride? And do you think the criticism of people like Pam Bondi is unjustified? Again, share your thoughts with everyone in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.